Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Chronograph reference 49150 in stainless steel. You can see this second generation Vacheron Constantin Overseas Chronograph in steel and to purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Vacheron Constantin Overseas, as well as our entire collection of Vacheron Constantin watches in stock. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that though the watch is 42.5 millimeters in diameter from 9 to 3, it has more wrist presence, and yet paradoxically it actually wears more compact on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It wears easily on a small wrist. I'll explain why that is in a moment, but the short answer is a flexible bracelet and a beautifully wide, nicely distributed mass courtesy of a cushion case. The watch is very slim considering the complexity and the degree of water resistance and anti-magnetism. Only 12.5 millimeters thick. You can see the case back is somewhat cupped so that when it's actually sized down and clamped on your wrist, it wears even lower. The Maltese cross motif bezel is nicely sloped, so this watch has no trouble wearing with a tight dress cuff. And with 150 meters of water resistance, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't easily wear this watch with a business suit or a bathing suit. Now, turning it over, you can see the watch was scarcely ever worn by its previous owner. Some of the protective factory wrapping is still on the bracelet, but we can see to good effect how the bracelet is finished and how it moves on the other side. Now, from lug to lug, the watch is a very compact 50.6 millimeters, but note how there's no flare to the bracelet. It pulls straight down. The cushion case, the short lugs, and the bracelet that won't fight the curve of your wrist all contribute to my judgment that this watch could be worn on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters in circumference. That's right, if you can wear a 39 millimeter steel Rolex with bracelet, you can wear this comfortably with a good appearance of proportion and security. Now the bracelet is beautifully made. In many ways, I prefer the second generation bracelet to the third. It feels more expensive. That's the best way to describe it. Having not been designed to be removed by a pull tab like the new bracelet, it's more securely anchored and it's more substantial in its feel, especially close to the lug. You'll also note that it's fixed by screws, so it has a solid anchoring point like an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak or Royal Oak offshore, screws being preferable to spring bars for security. The taper is beautiful. The finishing, as you can see, Maltese cross motif, it's a recurring theme throughout the watch. It is the marquee of the company. There's a beautiful hairline polished bevel along the flanks. There are also polished highlights in between the links with a satin finish on their hoods. On the underside, you can see that there are broad channels between the links, so it avoids pinching skin or pulling hair. No finish is overlooked, either cosmetic or functional. The bracelet is substantial but also low in profile. When you close it, it's largely resistant to desk diving, unlike, for instance, a Rolex Oyster clasp or an Omega Seamaster Professional clasp, because it's flat, it's flush, it's low in profile. Once again, Maltese cross, you press the triggers, releasing the clasp. You'll even note there's a Maltese cross cut to the individual trigger releases. The triggers ensure that this can't accidentally pop open. It's not friction fit, it's not even a clamshell. This is the most expensive and best way to do it. You'll also note it's fully finished internally, no detail overlooked. The watch is entirely handmade and hand finished, so you are getting what you pay for. These watches originally retailed for $21,000 new. You can pick them up for approximately $10,000 less today, which means you're getting a whole lot of watch and a whole lot of manual finishing for the money. I would even say this is an easy choice over the steel ceramic Daytona based on the substance of what you get, how much actual human labor was invested in it, and even the quality of the caliber inside, but more on that in a moment. You can see there's a handsome contrast to the finish of the case too. The top of the case is in satin, the flank is in high polish, and then there's a beautiful beveled polished lip that transitions between the two surfaces. You'll also note small details like the polishing of the conical portion of the bezel contrasting with the vertical satin finish of the recesses. You'll also note that it is all of a piece, integrated bracelet, lugs, and case like the historic 1977 Vacheron Constantin Model 222, and make no mistake that York high-sec design is the one to which this pays homage. The dial has a fine fine texture to it. It's a sort of mini clou de Paris recurring motif. There is a ray haut that slopes downward. It is a metallic black 60-second, minute, and seconds ring. You can use it for reading either. All of the indices are beautifully loomed and polished white gold, like the hands at center. A very easy watch to read in low or no light. You'll also note this nice polished chapter ring framing each of the sub-registers, with the largest of the chronograph registers being minutes at 3 o'clock. That asymmetrical look is calculated for function, and I do find that probably 95% of the time you're using a chronograph, you're going to be reading increments of minutes and seconds rather than the hour register. Therefore, making the minutes register bigger makes sense. Now I'm going to quickly stop the chronograph and restart it to show you how smooth the vertical clutch caliber 1137 based on the Frederic Piguet 1185 stops without stagger, starts without jump, always when I unscrew the screw-down pusher, resets precisely to the index at 12. And that's the nice thing about the vertical clutch, precision. There's never any play in the system. Moreover, if you prefer to simply leave your chronograph running for center seconds rather than sub-seconds, thanks to the vertical clutch, there's no additional hazard for doing that. Now you can see the grand or double-digit date at 12 o'clock, which was the signature of this generation of the Overseas Chronograph, a much missed and much mourned feature on the third generation watch. There is no doubt that by most conventional standards of aesthetics, balance, framing, proportion, this is a very handsome dial that is superior in almost every way to the aesthetics of the third generation watch. If you like the in-house caliber of the third generation, if, for example, you want to be able to swap your bracelets with a thumbnail, by all means, it does offer some advantages. It's a great watch. This would be my choice. 150 meters water resistant thanks to the solid case back. It also features a soft iron inner cage to protect the hairspring from magnetism. Hale and hardy, tough, and beautifully finished. This is a hard watch to resist. Automatic winding with a 40-hour power reserve and a quick set for that date. You're getting a full suite of deluxe features. Again, I feel this is the most chronograph you can buy for your money, and it's Holy Trinity. See it and own it on our website.